All right, everybody, welcome to the Orange Show. This is the second show that we've ever done, and what better way to introduce you guys to one of my friends here. He's a wrestler, he's an influencer, he's a million different things, but I want to give him the introduction. My boy Giorgio, what's going on?
How you doing, Emory? Or Mr. Orange. You know, I have you saved in my phone as Orange Shirt. I have never not see you wear orange. The first day I met you, all orange, head to toe. Look at you now, all orange, head to toe. What's going on with the orange?
Dude, it's my Superman suit, man. I can't go without it.
It is kind of your thing now. You made it your own.
I feel naked without it.
It wouldn't be the same Emory without orange, that's for sure.
Some people don't even know me as Emory. They just know orange.
That's how I knew you for the first month. Orange shirt guy.
For the people living under a rock like Patrick Starr, give yourself a quick intro. Who are you? What do you do?
I am Georgio Poullas. I've wrestled since kindergarten. You might know me as the Take Me Down guy. My series online is Take Me Down, Get $1,000. I go to Venice Beach. I go into jiu-jitsu gyms. I hold a sign, says Take Me Down, Get $1,000. Anyone that wants to try is welcome to try. I've done, I don't know the exact number, but probably around 100 to 200 videos. Nobody's been able to take me down yet, so that's why I'm kind of viral sensation right now. And I think that people love it because there's a lot of controversial calls. Well, if one ref was reffing, he would say takedown. If another ref was reffing, they would say no takedown. So I think that's why it's kind of viral. People watch the full video because they want to see me get taken down. At first people were rooting for me when I started the series wrestling this big guys. Now people still root for me, but now nobody's been able to do it. A lot of people think sometimes I fake my videos, or a lot of people like to say, oh, that was a takedown when it wasn't. So it gets a lot of controversy behind it because the fact that I've actually haven't been taken down. When I started this, nobody on the internet knew I could wrestle, except I knew. But my content wasn't wrestling, it was fitness. So then I brought myself with my sport to the internet, which I've never done, but I miss wrestling is why I did it. Really, I was a fitness influencer. I brought wrestling back into my life, brought it to the internet, and then first probably a few videos were slow, but it picked up very quickly. And yeah, man, now when I walk out of the house, normally at least once a day, if I'm out and about, I get noticed. So I think it's very cool. It's kind of like I brought my dream to life. I always knew that I was going to do something with wrestling growing up, and for a period of time I didn't know exactly if that was going to be true or what I was really going to do, but I always had a feeling inside of me that wrestling was going to be my whole life. I did start in kindergarten, and then when I moved out to LA, I wanted to follow my dad's footsteps. He was a bodybuilder, while in today's age I wanted to be a fitness influencer. So I did that, and then the wrestling came to me, and here we are.
What's the most interesting thing about you is I feel like you're creating the merge and the fusion between the influencer world and combat sports as a whole. Because I know you're a wrestler, but the first time that I met you, you were beating the shit out of people at zoo. There was this big scrap that everyone circled around. Bro, you just went swinging for the fences. I think more than ever that you're going to pave a crazy different lane that's between influencing and fighting. We've already seen people like Jake Paul do that and do that very well, almost in the villain role. And I think as you grow, you get into that villain role a little bit more. And I think that you should embrace it, bro, because the villains make the most money. But what do you think about the merge between the influencer world and the fight world? Because a lot of fighters, they don't get paid shit, and they want to get more into the influencer stuff. But Absolutely. The influencers want to be taken more seriously, and fighters are taken the most seriously.
Well, I think Jake Paul is a great example, influencer turned fighter. I do think that there is more money on the influencing side than fighting if you do it the route Jake Paul did. A lot of people ask me, why don't you go into the UFC? Why don't you train? And the answer to that question is, I believe that doing it the influencer route is worth more monetarily, and it's less hard on your body.
100%.
And I look at somebody like Jake Paul, and I'm a fan. I like to think of myself as my own version, I guess, not as a Jake Paul, as a Georgio Poullas, but I'm doing a spin-off what he did. I think what he did is great. I'm a big fan of Jake Paul. I think he's a bad dude. I think he puts in a lot of time and effort into his boxing. I support him, and I'm essentially trying to do the same thing Jake Paul did, just wrestle. It's funny, I was laying in my bed about a week ago, and I got a call from my buddy Johnny DeJulius, who used to wrestle for Ohio State, and then he was in the movie Unstoppable with Anthony Robles, that guy from Arizona with one leg. Well, I'm laying there getting ready for bed, butt naked. I get a call around 11 p.m. from Johnny. I answer it, and it was actually Logan Paul.
Shout out to Logan.
Yeah, dude. I was like, I answered my phone. I'm like, holy shit, what's up, bro?
You had to put your underwear back on?
No, it was just great because he was just telling me, like, he's a big fan of me. And
Fellow Ohio man.
Fellow Ohio as well. How about that? Both from Ohio. I actually had a couple teammates that were good friends with him when they lived in Cleveland. I went to Cleveland State for a couple years. But yeah, small world. I answered my phone. It was Logan Paul, and he's telling me how much of a fan he is of me. So that's kind of like a surreal moment, you know, where I get UFC fighters that I've been following, reaching out to me, DMing me, people that I followed before I had 10K followers, you know, that I followed that didn't follow me, now following me, saying they're fans of me. So I think that is very surreal. And as I progress with this, I don't always notice how much of an influence I have because I like to wrestle and I make my videos and, you know, it gets views, but I guess sometimes I don't realize the impact and the amount of people that it is actually reaching. And I think it just comes full circle when there's somebody that I followed that finally follows me or reaches out saying they're a fan. And, you know, that's a very exciting thing for me. Back to Jake Paul. He's a badass. I like him.
The thing about them, and I've said this before, is like Jake and Logan play the villain role on purpose. Yeah. They're made to make you want to not like them. But in person, this is speaking from my experience meeting Logan Paul in person. Yeah. Nicest guy ever. Complete opposite. Like, acts like a total villain on camera for WWE, for the fights, for whatever. But then in person is actually genuinely good dude. And I think that that's the best fit, man. And you are right in that lane. Like, Prime is there for you, bro. And you got to get a fight and you got to get this shit going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm actually, you know, we'll get there when we get there. But yeah, man, I think what they're doing, what they're portraying on the internet is very eye-catching. Someone like me, myself, I like to think I'm a genuine guy. I'm not the loudest man in the room. I'm normally the badass in the room. But
what was that nickname that they gave you? Pitbull?
Rhino or whatever.
Rhino?
No, how I think it's funny you say Pitbull. Growing up, one of my coaches and my dad would always say, have a Pitbull mentality. Like you go out there, you strike first, you wrestle your match, you know, have that Pitbull mentality.
What's most interesting is that I've seen you do that with boxing. And like, what happened with the bare knuckle stuff? Like, you're the perfect fit for that too. Like, you go out swinging.
Back to zoo culture, I assume you're referencing me boxing there. That was actually the first time I recorded the Take Me Down video.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And at that time, it was only $100. And that's one of my most controversial videos I had done there against this kid Joseph, where they're saying that it was a takedown. Now, if you know wrestling, it wasn't a takedown, but there's a lot of people on the internet that don't know wrestling. I had Bo Nickel type in the comments that wasn't a takedown. So Bo Nickel's one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
So if he knows it's not a takedown, it's clearly not a takedown. But the problem is with that on social media, I'm doing more than just entertaining wrestlers. I'm entertaining everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to spread the sport and the love for the sport. So for the BKFC thing, what happened with that, back to that real quick, is I went to the tryout they hosted in Los Angeles. It was the biggest tryout they ever had. I ended up being the first guy picked. I won every challenge there was to win. They told me, you know, I was going to be in it. Long story short, I think it's just on their end, they don't have everything together. I don't think they're as professional as they seem because, like I said, I went to the trial, I won, I made a whole YouTube video on it. I should have been in the BKFC. I would have already had fights in the BKFC. Now with my success and my progress of where I'm at now, I don't know that the BKFC is the smartest thing for me to do. I think I can do other things now. I've had multiple boxing leagues reach out to me. I'm not really a boxer, but I have boxed throughout my life just to stay in shape with wrestling. So I know the basics. But I wouldn't say like I'm a professional boxer, but me, I'll get in the ring or do anything and fight anyone, as you saw at Zoo Culture.
Dude, you have the biggest fucking balls I've ever seen in my life. No homo, bro. Like, it's like you don't back down from anything.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And that's just part of the fighter mentality, you know. I knocked out that first kid at Zoo Culture.
Oh my God,
and
that was a wild knockout.
The Mexican kid who was a pro boxer, you know, he came over to me on the wrestling mats earlier on and he wouldn't wrestle me, but he said, I'll box you. And I was doing my wrestling videos, so I said no. Well, then later on, I don't know if he goes up to Bradley or who goes up to try and box me after he saw me box that kid, but he thought probably just going to be an easy win because I didn't box. But if somebody like me, it doesn't matter. You're taking fucking haymakers. One punch connects. You know, if you pull up that fight, you'll see that. That was a good fight. It was a good fight.
It was a really good fight. And Cheeto Vera even mentioned to you when we kind of went and did the whole sparring thing, is like, when you come out, it's so unorthodox, but it's with the mentality personality, they're like, holy shit, even a professional fighter like Cheeto can even say that about you.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? It's unorthodox because I'm not necessarily trained in the way that you think, and I'm not going to react in the way you think. I'm just going to try and take your fucking head off and trying not to get hit. So I'm not thinking about all this technique or how I'm supposed to react. I'm looking for your punches, trying to dodge them and trying to hit you harder. Yeah. So that's why it was unorthodox. But Cheeto's a great guy, very good jiu-jitsu guy, good friend of mine, and we roll around. I think we're going to do another video soon. But yeah, you know, I would like to address something while we're talking about just what I'm doing for wrestling and whatnot. Have you heard anything about Mugsy lately? Have you seen the post he made on me?
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of controversy around that. I want to see what you think about it.
Yeah, so first off, to get started in this, you know, that is me thinking kind of like a Jake Paul. You know, I'm trying to start beef. I'm trying to be that character, but really in person, I'm not that character. You know, I almost didn't post that video because I don't want to seem like that, but at the same time, I'm trying to get the views and start a little bit of beef because that's what works in this industry. And so it's a hard time for me to like take who I am and try and be that character, but I understand why somebody like Jake did that, and that's what I'm also trying to do. I don't want to be the bad guy because I like to think I'm a genuinely nice guy, and it's hard for me to post things like that, but as I'm progressing through this influencer world, I feel like you kind of have to post a little bit of that. You kind of have to be the big guy. Mugsy's somebody that I talked to many times about wrestling, and it just seems like he's avoiding me. So, you know, I did say that he wasn't a real wrestler, and that's why the video blew up, and that's why he made a repost video. But what I didn't appreciate about what Mugsy said is that you're out there chasing gold and losing brain cells when I'm making money. That right there, that statement just proved that he's not a real wrestler, because he just took everything all the wrestlers work for and just diminished it. Wrestlers work their whole life for that gold, and you just proved my point why you're not a real wrestler, because you don't understand what working for gold means. He also wants to say that I support OnlyFans and that people shouldn't support me and that I'm just a dumbass, or my fans are a dumbass for supporting me. Well, let me tell you what, I don't just support OnlyFans. I'm out here spreading the love for the sport of wrestling and teaching women how to defend themselves. I'm not out here to say, hey, do you do OnlyFans? Okay, I'm not going to teach you. No, I'm out here, hey, you want to learn? You're a lady, you want to learn? I would love to show you how to defend yourself, because I believe in no matter who you are or what you do, if you want to learn self-defense and learn how to defend yourself as a young girl, I am willing to teach you, because I think every girl should know how to defend themselves.
Absolutely.
To further that statement, I'm not surprised that he pulls up the video with Rachel Starr. You're going to tell me you just use that random video? Of course you know who she is. Tell me why you know who she is.
That's crazy.
So who's supporting it? Because I know you're watching it, because you knew exactly who she was. And on that video, it had nothing to do with OnlyFans. It was simply me teaching defense technique. Not one thing to do with OnlyFans. So how did you know she did OnlyFans? How did you know who she was, Mugsy? Please tell me.
Why didn't that kind of event go through? Because I know you were trying to put it in the works attention.
That event didn't go through. It's pretty simple, because Mugsy says he's all about business and making money, aka back to he's not a real wrestler. He just wants to make money. And you know what he's doing? He's ripping off the community by selling courses on how to make videos. Everybody knows that throw a hook on a video. It's not that hard. You're the one ripping off the community, selling courses that are invalid, or maybe they are valid, but you're selling it, and people can learn that on their own very easy. It's like a scam. So he wants to say, I'm not doing anything for the wrestling community, and to look what he's doing. Yeah, look at what you're doing. You're scamming off of courses. And I'm over here running the streets, promoting the sport to everybody. And you want to try and judge me for teaching a girl who does OnlyFans? That video had nothing to do with OnlyFans. It was a simple technique video. If you didn't know who she was yourself, it has nothing to do with OnlyFans. So that's what frustrates me. I'm out here spreading love for the sport. He's out here saying gold doesn't matter, validating my reason why he's not a real wrestler, and then going on to say I'm promoting OnlyFans when it's simply just a self-defense video with a girl.
That's crazy. I want to touch more on the impact you're trying to do with wrestling. A lot of parents are trying to toe the line between whether or not they should sign their kids up for wrestling. What's your take on it? Or if a parent is watching this from you and your influence, what's your message to them?
My message to them, and this is a non-biased opinion, this is what wrestling has done for me in my life. Wrestling for me, since kindergarten, I didn't know what it was going to turn into, but it turned into something. But one thing wrestling teaches you more than anything else is discipline, self-respect, determination. It makes you a better person. But not only does it make you a better person, it teaches you how to defend yourself. And in a world we live in like today, it is very important to know how to defend yourself. Most guys will walk on the street, whether they're with their girlfriend or not knowing combat skills, fearing of a conflict or confrontation. When I walk down the street, and that doesn't cross my mind, because I know if it comes down to it, I can protect me, my woman, her friends, our family, and anybody, because I am a trained killer. And you don't even have to be a trained killer. You don't even have to take it to the level I took it. Right. You can just do a couple years of it, learn some self-defense, and be ahead of 80% of the population just because you did a couple years of it.
That's big. That's really big.
Put your children in wrestling. It'll help them in more ways than you can think. It'll better their lives, and they're going to be able to defend themselves. And at the end of the day, parents just want to make sure their kids are okay. Parents want to know their kids are safe. Give your kid a little bit of martial arts, wrestling, a form of combat, and just know by you doing that, they're going to be a little bit safer, and you did your part as a parent. The younger you start them, the better they're going to be. Parents don't put their kids in wrestling because they think it's dangerous. Driving your car is dangerous. Sure, it's not like you're going to go to a match and automatically get hurt. It's a very rare cases that this happens. You'll have a full lineup of a team, and maybe there's 40 guys on the team, and maybe 3 of them through the season will get injuries here and there, and then they'll heal up and be fine.
Yeah, and given it's also like a controlled environment where there's coaches and referees and stuff like that, that's much better than the street.
Way better.
Where it's super unhinged and you don't know what could happen.
A normal kid that goes to a great school that there's never fights at, teach that kid more and enough to defend themselves against somebody that didn't have the same privilege to go to a school like that, where they had to fight every day at their school. And you'll take somebody that's never been in a fight against somebody that's been in a fight but never trained professionally, and that person that's never been in the fight that is trained will be able to protect themselves against that person. Take a street fighter and put him against a wrestler. Tell me who wins.
I want to touch a little bit more on your vision towards these things. Like, there's a lot of people that you've made so much progress, but there's still so many collabs that still could potentially happen. What do you have planned? Who do you want? Who's on your bucket list? What is coming up? What can we see for the future? What are you shooting for?
Can't really talk about this fully, but I have big things in the making. If you look at what Jake Paul did, I'll just say I'm essentially doing the same thing he did with wrestling. I'm doing more because he went only for the big names, but he was already established to get those big names. I'm now somewhat established to get big names. I also will do it with anybody off the street. You can expect some UFC fighters make an appearance in some of my videos coming up, and some big events lined up where I may or may not wrestle Jorge Masvidal if he's not scared. What I was told last time we talked is that he wanted more time to train.
Right.
Why would somebody want more time to train? Because they're scared. I will say he is a gangster.
Oh, yeah, he's a total badass.
And I am a fan of his style, his mindset, his mentality. I like to look at him and think we have the same mindset because he don't take shit. He's a gangster. He'll get in there and rip your head off. He's going to give it everything he's got no matter what. And I respect that. I can respect a real gangster, and he's a real gangster.
I want to ask you this. 5 years from now, what do you picture of yourself? Where do you see yourself?
That's a tough question to answer because nothing is ever set in stone until it happens.
Okay.
I will say where I can see myself tomorrow and the day after that. And that is working on myself and my goals to get me to where I want to be in 2 to 5 years. I don't look at where am I going to be in 5 years.
Why?
Because if I don't win tomorrow and the next day after that and then the following day after that, I'm never going to get to where I want to be in 2 or 5 years. It's like asking me, what is the most important match of your life? I remember the day my coach asked me that question. He said, son, what's the most important match of your life? And I looked at him and I said the finals. He looked at me and he said, no, it's the match that's right in front of you, because if you don't win your next match, you're not going to get to the finals.
I didn't even think about it like that. That keeps you really focused.
Absolutely. And it breaks it down for you. You don't worry about the finals. You wrestle that match that you have next like it is the finals.
If this was you when you were 20 years old and I'm your 20-year-old self, what would you tell that person?
You're doing it. You're making it happen. Everybody told you it was going to be hard. A lot of people didn't believe in you. But if you took your 20-year-old self and looked at you now, you'd probably break down in tears crying. But the version of you right now doesn't even realize the success that 20-year-old would have, and looked and seen how grateful he is right now. The journey never stops. So I'm sitting here at 27 years old now, and I have carved a way to where my 20-year-old self would want. But now my 27-year-old self wants so much more.
Yeah.
So you can't be complacent and you can't be happy. And a lot of times when you achieve your dreams and you're working towards it, you don't even realize that you achieved something and that you did something you used to want back when you were younger. Because once you achieve it, you're like, what's the next thing? So sometimes it is important to take a second to realize, be proud of yourself and move on to the next thing. That's something I feel like I have a hard time doing because I'm not necessarily happy with what I've done right now, even though my 20-year-old self would have, because I want to do so much more. I feel like I've just started, and that's true. But to be able to say, like, it started and see what I've done. No, when I was 20, I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I wrestled my whole life. I didn't really want to go to college out of high school. I just wanted to go straight into the UFC, and that's what I would have done if I didn't come from a family that everybody went to college. And so when you got full ride offers knocking on the door and you think you're going to tell your parents you're not going to college, you better think again.
Yeah.
I thought again. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm wrestling in college. My goal was always just to win a state title or to be #1 in the nation in high school. I never had goals for college. In my head, I wanted to go to the UFC straight from high school. I think that would have been the best route for me. But I'm a true believer in everything happens for a reason. Your path is paved out for you and God's got your back. So when you choose a route, you look back and you say, well, if I would have done that or what I wanted to do,
right.
You just got to have that faith that it's already planned for you. You know, my day tomorrow is already done in history. God knows what it's going to be.
Right.
But I have faith in God, and I know wherever he takes me is where I'm supposed to be.
I've gotten to taking the time to get to know you personally. And I think that one trait that you have that is unique to everybody else is you just don't hesitate. Like, you go after what you want. And a big problem with a ton of people's lives is hesitation. I really want to dive a little deep and get your mindset throughout it. You moved out to LA. You started the fitness influencing shit. You started the wrestling thing, like all of these things. And I've witnessed some behind the scenes when you do it. It's just like, you're just on go mode. What would you say to other people who are kind of struggling with that problem?
Emory, why do you think somebody hesitates?
They overthink it. They think that they can't do it. They have self-doubt because they want to be a realist.
Pick it up, throw it, and kick it in the ass. Fuck a realist.
Yeah.
You want to be a realist, do whatever the fuck you want. The reason people hesitate, one, out of fear, out of the unknown. Well, guess what? You're comfortable. You're living a decent life, but you're not happy. And that fear prevents you from being happy because you're comfortable. When you're comfortable, you're not growing. When you're uncomfortable is when you're growing. And it's a very difficult thing for someone like me, myself, to even do. When I moved out here, I was scared. I wasn't comfortable. Very uncomfortable. But the reason people hesitate is opinions from others. A lot of times parents telling you what you should and what you shouldn't do because they're playing it safe by the book. I was told before I moved out to LA, not necessarily by my parents, but people that cared about me, that, hey, it's going to be really hard to make it there. You know, are you sure you want to go? I'll see you back here in 6 months. Well, guess what? I didn't go back.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, bro.
But I was told that I need to come to reality. I was told that I need to be a realist, that I need to get a 9 to 5.
Right.
And that I need to work and I need to grow up and that that's a fantasy life. And I listened to everything they said.
You just went for it anyways.
But I didn't listen because they can tell you whatever they want, and it's probably because they care about you.
Yeah. It's not with bad intention.
But 99% of the time, those people telling you not to do it never tried to do it themselves. So why the fuck would I listen to you?
That cuts deep, man.
You're going to tell me this off of what you heard or this and that because you care. But if you never tried to do it yourself, why would I listen to you?
But it's true.
People are scared. People take other people's opinions too much. I don't think the population of human species understands what somebody's opinion can do to you. Somebody's opinion, if you listen to that, that can change your whole course of life. Don't listen to that. Do what you want to do because life is too short.
Facts.
Way too short.
Facts.
I originally went to school for nursing.
No way. You were going to be a nurse?
Ask me why I was going to be a nurse.
Why?
Because that's what my parents wanted me to do.
Oh, okay.
My mom, dad, brother, and sister are all nurses, and then my other sister's going to be a doctor. So they're all in the medical field. I've always been the oddball of the family.
I can relate to that, bro.
So you know what? I did what they wanted me to do. I realized it wasn't for me, that I wasn't happy. So I did what they didn't want me to do because that was for me.
You're actually doing something realistic. You just have a lot more confidence and optimism towards it.
Fuck realistic. Realistic is whatever you work for. In this world is what you manifest, is what you go after. If you go after that nurse job because somebody else told you to, that is your manifestation. That opinion alone change your outcome in life. Do what you want to do in this life because odds are, if it's something you want to do and you work hard at it, you will manifest it. I know it's crazy, but if I would have stayed there, I'd been in nursing behind a desk or whatever, and I wouldn't have been here right now. all you have in life is time. So if you pick something that you want to do and you're passionate about it, and you can't be lazy, it's not for the lazy. If you're lazy, don't even try, because that means you don't want to do it. If you're not lazy, it means it's something you actually want to do. So you manifest it by putting your time and energy into it, and the world gives you what you're working for because you worked for it. It's not going to land in your lap, but if it's what you want, and you take the steps to get what you want, like an instructional, at the end of the instructional, you're going to have it all put together.
I like that, man. A lot of times as an influencer trying to merge another hobby, which in your case is wrestling, they see like the video where we did where you brought the coaches, Kent State wrestling guy out, and you were just teaching some technical stuff versus like an influencer fight. The influencer stuff does well because of the names and like social media and everything, but I feel like your core audience really loves your technical stuff.
I would agree with that, but it's because you can see I know what I'm doing and that I'm a very high level guy, and I make it very black and white for people by going against these 6 or 7 foot guys that weigh 200 or 300 pounds as a 5'7", 160-pound kid. I make it very black and white that size doesn't matter, and that's a very controversial thing within the world, because you look at somebody like Bradley Martin who's saying, oh, that I'll beat him just because I'm bigger than him.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's part of an act like Jake Paul or what. It might be, but I certainly hope he's not that delusional. Yeah. But a lot of people really are. I've been in a lot of fights and I've never fought in somebody smaller than me, all the bigger guys, and they only fight me because they're assuming they're gonna win. They don't know I'm a trained professional at what I do, and they think that size does matter. But a trained professional is gonna use your size against you. It's all about the technique, and I think that people love the technique because I make it very clear that size doesn't matter, and I think I'm the first person that's ever really done that.
Yeah, man, it's like your videos are like these giant security guards that you just lay out flat, and they're shocked. They're like, well, how the fuck is this guy half my size and just putting me down?
Yeah, but then there's people that also are like, when I wrestle a smaller guy, it's like, oh, you're choosing the smaller guy. No, man, I'm just out here doing it with anyone that wants to do it. I'll do it with the biggest guy or the smallest guy. I'm not hand-picking these guys. I'm holding a sign, and whoever wants to come to me and try and win, I'm going to do it with. I wish more of the bigger guys wanted to do it, but I think it's something to do with their ego where they don't want to lose.
Oh, 100%.
So, you know, that's why a lot of times it's not always big guys. If I can choose, I would pick the biggest guy every time. It's going to go the most viral. I know I'm going to win.
There's a guy that you've done like 3 or 4, 100 times where he keeps thinking he's going to get you.
You know,
and he never gets you.
Yeah, it's Grizzly Gray, big bodybuilder guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's one of those people that just have that ego. And I can beat him 100 times and he'll still think, all right, well, the next time I have to get him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. That's just not how it's going to be. I'm just better than you.
Watching people and what they say afterwards. Oh, my wrist was broken. Oh, I didn't stretch. They'll come up with anything but shit, dude. You're just like too good at this.
And you know, I think you get a good mix of people. I like doing the messages of the day because at least it gives them an opinion
to share with the world.
Exactly, to share with the world. Now, whether that's they want to make excuses for why they lost, or whether that's something motivational for other people, or preaching God, or it's whatever they want to be the message of the day. And I think that makes the video very original. And I think it's important that more people get a chance to have a message today to a large audience. And no, that's whatever they want to say. And like I said, if they want to make an excuse, or they want to applaud me, or if they want to share something that's been on their mind about the world with the community, it's whatever they want to say.
I think that's really powerful because you're giving them a platform. And a lot of people, whether they're nobody or somebody, like they have something unique that they could share.
I'm giving them a voice for a few seconds because I have an audience that's going to listen.
Doing charity work, brother. Is there anything that you're trying to address? If there's anything on your mind and you want to talk about, whether it's wrestling, whether it's anything else.
What I would like to address is it has nothing to do with wrestling.
Okay.
I think that people need to be aware with what's going on in the world.
Okay.
In a couple different ways. One thing going on with all the wars going on in the world, and you got another thing going on with all the crazy shit happening in the universe. And you look at it, and you're just like, if the government, when it came out 20 years and said that aliens were real, the world would be going fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But they come out now and say it, and nobody seems to care. Here's the thing. I think that part of the war and everything going on the news is all a distraction for what's actually happening. If you look in the Bible and you see what's going on in the world right now, Jesus Christ is coming back very soon. Everything in the Bible is lining up. It is undeniably lining up. And for the first time ever, right now, more men are joining Christianity than any other time in the world.
Really?
If you read the Bible and you look at what's going on in the world, everything is lining up. Literally everything. It's undeniable. And I'm not even the most into the Bible, right? Like,
right.
I'm aware and I am a man of God and I pray every night. So I can see these things. But my message, something I want to talk about
Your message of the day.
Yeah, man. The government is trying to distract you with all the wars and everything going on in the news when Jesus Christ is coming back very soon, and there's signs all around us that the government is portraying or trying to hide. Another thing, look at what just happened with TikTok. It's because so much truth is coming out, they're trying to find a way to suppress the people from actually knowing. And, even just me saying this, there's people that have been killed for saying things like this. And if you look like what's going on, just there's so many different cases where people just disappear, like the man who invented the car that runs off water disappeared. The man who saw a Bigfoot up on the hill disappeared. The kid who flew to Alaska on the plane, have we heard anything of him? I'm sure he's going to disappear. You're never going to see him again. He hasn't made a video. So it's people that actually touch on things that really find something that just disappear. They just found a plane in the bottom of Tahoe. All of a sudden they evacuate everybody, the guy who found it. Nobody's allowed to go there. People pull up in black cars diving under here. Like, it's just like they hide everything from us. And if you have information, you're never to be seen again.
I'll get your take on this as well, but I feel like they hide information on purpose because knowledge is power for the civilians.
Yeah. You know what else they do? They poison us. Fluoride was used to seduce prisoners back in the day. There's fluoride in our toothpaste.
There's fluoride in our water, isn't there?
There is. You know what that does? That clouds your pineal gland. You're not able to think. It's a real thing. All the food we eat, there's poison in all the food, all the chemicals in there. Everything, man. It's hard to get good quality shit.
It is.
They're poisoning us in every way they can.
Yeah, you're right, dude. It's really tough, and I see it.
If you take a look at this ceiling in this room, it's a box. Well, back in the old days, they used to build in circles. Did you know that boxes actually cloud your pineal gland too and help you not be able to think as much as you would be?
Versus a circle room. How come?
I don't know the exact details. I did at one point, but it's something to do with the structure of the square that clouds it. It's just, they do so many things to distract us. I mean, look at baseball games and NFL games.
Yeah.
Take a second and think, if we didn't have any sports or anything, and this world just focused on where we are and what the fuck we are, and all the countries stopped war but came together to help each other get to different places instead of trying to race each other, we could just all come together and realize we're all people and work together, where we would be. Instead, we're freaking shooting each other and blowing off bombs. That's all distraction. If we could all come together, we would be somewhere. Just like the ice wall, right? There's more land behind the ice wall. There's other species supposedly behind the ice wall. But guess what? For some reason on this free earth, I'm not allowed to go there. Seem a little off to you? If we're free and this is all just land, why can't we explore the world? Why can't I be a Christopher Columbus anymore? Why can't I go explore and find land? Because they're hiding things from us.
For sure. I can definitely see that. I heard that the ocean is 90-something% undiscovered as well.
Yeah, we know more about space than we do the ocean, but you know what? I don't know if that's true. They're just not telling us about the ocean. Tell me why it's illegal to talk to dolphins, because dolphins are really, really smart.
It's illegal to talk to dolphins?
It's a felony to try and communicate with a wild dolphin.
Are you serious?
You're not even allowed to go, to try.
Why not?
If you do that to a dolphin, felony.
Are you deadass? Why? What the fuck?
Because
what's a dolphin gonna do?
dolphins have been around forever. Since the prehistoric dinosaur age, they have been around and they know what's going on. And they're very intelligent. Now, they can't necessarily come out and tell us, but if we studied dolphins, which is what the government did to make it illegal for us not to talk to dolphins, we would know.
Would you take the time to learn the dolphin language to try and talk to them?
No, but there's people that already have that are hiding it from us.
There's people that know how to speak dolphin to dolphins that can get old information out.
What I'll tell you is we're not allowed to talk to dolphins because somebody knows what they know.
Holy shit. shit, dude. The dolphins are hiding all the information from us. That's wild. I didn't even think about that. It's the fucking dolphins.
It's the truth, bro.
Oh my God.
And I don't know.
Who else? What other
there's pictures and videos of China has the dragon, right? They've always had the dragon. Why? Because there used to be rumored that dragons used to fly. And now when you see a picture or a photo of something of a dragon, right? People are just going to throw it out. But I think that the dragon was real. Because if you look at the dinosaurs and you look at the megalodon and you look at all the species that used to exist, people say they're just wiped out. But maybe they just went to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
Or maybe because of people used to hunt the dragons, they flew over the ice wall to another place that we don't know about on this world. And so they're suddenly seen here and there. You can't deny aliens. So if aliens are real, why are you going to roll out a dragon when you look back at the history of all the different animals we've had and all the different species we've had? Now all of a sudden they say they found a sculpture of a horse that's a unicorn. And guess what? In that location throughout history, it was a mystery that people thought or believed in was a folk tale of unicorns being in that area way back when. A fucking unicorn. And now all of a sudden they dig up a sculpture with a horse's head that has a fucking unicorn thing on it.
No way.
Everything exists. Tell me this. The human eye is beautiful, but we can only see in 3 patterns. But yet bats can see sonar rays. Dolphins can see other things. Snake can see your heat, so they see where you're blue and yellow with their eyes looking at you. But we can't see any of that. So our eyes are only what we know. But the world, there is so much more to the world where certain animals can see differently. They can see energy waves. They can see everything. But us, we can't.
Holy fuck.
But the world is so much more because there are things out there in this world that see the world in a whole nother place. When a butterfly goes to a flower, the flower to the butterfly is glowing and seeing patterns that we can't see with our eye.
Right.
We don't have night vision, but all of a sudden now they found out if we take some night vision from a fish's eye in the sea that can see real good at night and put a drop in our eye, well, now we can see night vision. Did you know that?
I have no idea. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You put a fish's what into your...
The drops of a fish's eye, you take the juice in it or whatever necessarily it is, the liquid, and you put a drop in your eye and you're going to have night vision. And it's going to wear off by morning. And there's going to be no side effects is what they say. But the fact that other things in this world see the world differently, you can't tell me there's not different dimensions, different things going on. We only know what we know. And they keep us in a little box so people are scared to say anything. But they don't let us know these things. And this is just another side of me. Like, I'm a wrestler. That's my content. But this is something that people...
It goes way
need to
deeper.
See. It's like, we're here as slaves working a 9 to 5 or whatever your situation is when we shouldn't be. We should be figuring out what the fuck this is.
Yeah.
Where we are.
Dude, you're totally right. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This was wild. We talked about so many different subjects, and we're gonna get amazed for my clippers out there. We're gonna get some banger clips, and there's gonna be a lot of money to be made here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment, leave a hate comment, leave a good comment, leave something. Let me know what you think and what you want to see next. And we'll definitely have Giorgio on again, and we're going to go a lot more deeper. So if you got any more questions for Giorgio, also leave it in the comments. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. This is our 2nd episode. We're just getting started, and we're trying to go bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. We don't know what's in the moon. They're hiding the moon from us probably, but we'll figure it out.
Hey, Emory, thank you for having me.
Where can they find you?
If you look in the description, you'll have all my social links. My Instagram is Georgio Poullas. My YouTube is The Kid Giorgio. ScuffleSociety.com. Get yourself some merch. Go on FanaticsWrestling.com. Get the course if you want to learn. Shoot me a DM. I'm here for it, guys. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the love. I'm just another one of you guys. You watching this. I hope you had a great day. It's me speaking to you just through your TV. So what's up, bro? Make sure you guys subscribe. Thank you.
My man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Emory.